Hey guys, Big J from the Centre Bounce. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're reacting to some massive news in the media. Big contracts hit. We've got Freo, Crazy Man, Damo here to come and talk about it. Remember, before we get started, if you love the content, like, share, subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel. Let us know in the comments, hey, do you like the episode? And what can we comment on next? We'd love to hear it. Damo, how you doing? Thanks for coming on the show.
Glad to be here. Yep, Crazy Man sounds about right.
Oh, you're just our Freo contact over in the West. We've had Mini Monk on, but Damo conversation's always fantastic.
Yeah, well, Mini Monk is based in Canberra, so he doesn't really have his ear to the ground in the media or
There you go.
over here. So, yep, always good, always happy to be here. Your channel's doing a lot for Supercoach and footy, and I'm happy to help it grow.
Oh, thanks very much. Just kind of before we get started, did you really feel like this big news, this Shawn Darcy contract was coming? I know that we had been talking a little bit off air about, um, you know, is North going to poach him? Clarko's gone over there in the trade period. Shawn Darcy hasn't signed. Um, did you have any feelings, or like, yeah, no, he's staying?
I I told you on a fan cast stream that Shawn
Hmm.
Darcy was staying about
You did.
6 weeks ago, and I
You
said
did.
it was just a matter of time, and you said, "No, no, he's going to North. North need him.
Hmm.
North can offer money and picks for him and all that sort of thing," and I said, "That's fine, but he's staying." And
Yeah.
no one believed me, and then the trade period ended, and everyone was saying, why
Oh.
didn't the Dockers trade Shawn Darcy? What are they gonna do with
Mhm.
him? They're gonna lose him for nothing, and, well, they don't have to worry about that now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, Kane Corns isn't going to have something to talk about for the next 6 to 8 months. Um,
No, just something to talk about for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
no, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, I mean, he's not going to talk about Connor Rosie's monster contract. Maybe we'll get a Freo
No,
fan to come
no.
and talk to us about that as well. Um, being over in Perth, obviously, we might have got the news a little bit earlier than you guys. What was kind of your initial reaction to this monster signing of Shawn Darcy before we get into kind of the length and how much money?
My initial reaction was, yeah, good. I mean, the club now has 15 of their best 22 locked
Hmm.
down for deals for at least 3 years, and that takes them past the introduction of the Tasmanian team.
Yeah.
So they've locked away some key pieces of their team, and I imagine that they won't stop there. I imagine they'll wanna lock down as much as they can as quickly as they can.
Do you think a lot of teams are really kind of going for that, being like, hey, this new team's coming in. Are they going to be able to poach anyone, or is it going to be out of contract? Like, it feels like, I'm not going to talk as much Freo, but a lot of other teams are really putting these superstars like just out of reach.
I think after seeing how Gold Coast and the Giants entered the competition,
Hmm.
clubs really don't want out of contract players to be able to walk for nothing like some players did when those clubs entered the competitions.
Yeah, enough, fair enough. So if he goes, at least you're going to get monster compensation for it. So it fits in quite well. Um, going to go into the contract length and cap. So from what I understand, 2030.
Yep, contracted until 2030, and no one has reported the money yet. Peter
Okay.
Sumich seems to think it's 1.5 million a year and all that sort of thing, but no, the Dockers aren't that stupid.
Yeah.
They aren't gonna pay him that much per season. They've got a salary cap that they need to stretch for other players, and yeah, no, um, I don't think it's over. I wouldn't surprise me if it's around 1 million for one of the years, but I don't think it's a straight amount per year. I think it'll be massaged along the way.
I know we've heard a little bit about teams like North Melbourne and Essendon having a lot of money for next year. Is that the same with Freo, or are you guys fairly even across the board? Like, you've got a lot of money in the bank now to pay someone, or like a lot of back-ended deals already?
The Dockers have a lot of cash that they can spend.
Okay.
They've obviously got all those first round picks next season that they can
Mm.
use, and they've got a lot of cash that they can spend as well. The Dockers aren't. traditionally a team that doesn't manage their cap space well.
I guess kind of heading into the next bit, Damo, how does everyone fit in this team? You've got Shawn Darcy, you've got Luke Jackson, a bunch of other players in there. Is there enough space to fit everyone? Or is Darcy going to come around and just push people out the way? Say, hey, you're in my position on the field, mate.
So in terms of the talls, I think there will be 7 talls in the 22 in total.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be 3 down back, and that could include Chapman as being one of those 3 talls. And then up forward, you'll have Jackson, Amos, and Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have Darcy as the main ruck, with obviously Jackson chopping out when needed. So I don't think it's that different to other teams with how they set up. I think it would just be a case of managing and making sure that when you don't need someone, the team that tall in, say, wet weather, the right player misses.
Yeah. And I guess it's kind of a good thing that Jackson coming from Melbourne already knew how to ruck forward or forward ruck versus like, hey, a Tristan Cherry comes across. He can't really play forward, right? So him and the Shawn Darcy mix works quite well for you.
Yeah, there's actually a really good article by Nathan Schmook on the AFL website, and
Mhm.
it's about how the Dockers landed Jackson and how they plan to use him. And it's quite a long article, so I suggest people go and read it. But basically, the Dockers don't see Jackson as just a ruckman.
Yep.
They don't see Jackson as just a key position player. They see him as a player who can play on the wing, even in the midfield, attending centre bounces with Shawn Darcy as the main ruck. They see him being almost kind of like a I would you can't really say say master of none,
Mhm.
because he's quite good in most positions, but yeah, I don't think he's a player that needs to be shoehorned or locked into one position.
Yeah. I mean, we saw times during this year where Darcy went forward and kicked a couple of goals, and then Jackson was in the middle. So, they can change, chop and change as well, depending on who the opposition is, right?
Yeah, for sure. And we saw that Luke Jackson didn't quite manage himself well against the likes of a Toby Nankervis, a Kieran Briggs, even an Oscar
Mhm.
McInerney, a player who can pretty much just walk through you in a ruck contest. Whereas having someone like Shawn Darcy who can stand up to those guys means that Jackson can sort of save his body a bit around those players, but also go into the middle when Shawn Darcy is going up against one of the more athletic ruckmans who Darcy can't really match a jump of.
Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe if you can pass along that article, I'll put it in the comments for the fans to have a look at. Moving on to our next question. Are you worried about future contracts? I know we'll touch on kind of the big topic that everyone's got going, but we've seen teams when these monster contracts, these, 5, 6, 7, 8 year, 9 deals have gone through, players from your club have had to fall through. Grundy got a big contract for a law and Stevenson had to leave to kind of make space. Is there any concern that that might happen at Freo or not really?
No real concern. I think the club kind of knows how they want players to be paid in certain years, and I
Mhm.
think it will be a matter of just massaging those contracts as more players get signed to make sure that everyone fits into the salary cap each year. And we know that clubs have to spend up to 95% of their salary cap each season to not get to be sorry to the AFL Players Association agreement to
Yeah, to
fulfill
make
that.
the restrictions. Yeah.
Yeah. So there will be all sorts of things to do with that. That means that the salary cap is well maintained.
Mm.
But no, I've got no qualms or no issues about how the future contracts pan out.
I guess it's good as well that we've seen the salary cap actual number is going up as well over the next couple of years, so it's not like numbers are stuck.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how many players have that in their contract to go
Mm.
up with the contract, up with the salary cap, I should say, rather than just stay in one place.
Well, I guess it's kind of the thing that's on everyone's mind. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. calm the naysayers, tell them to shut up. Is Darcy Jackson going to be another Grundy Gorn? Are we expecting Darcy to play a couple of seasons and then leave? What's going on? Kano's watching. All these commentators are watching. Let us know.
It really feels like a once bitten, twice shy kind of situation. And Luke Jackson is far more is far more diverse in his positions than Grundy is.
Mhm.
And so and even Shawn Darcy has shown that he can rest forward and play as a key marking target. So I don't think that it's the same. Obviously, Gorn can do a bit of that playing forward, playing back, roaming cross half back, all that sort of thing. And but Grundy seems to be the kind of player who can just play one position, whereas Darcy and Jackson can probably move around a bit more and add a little bit more to the team when both are in.
Yeah, definitely. And as we were saying before, right, they can kind of rotate and be versatile enough that you're not shoehorned into playing a ruckman in the forward line that just looks like a kid following a soccer ball at junior level running around.
Yeah, and we even saw at one point during the season that Luke Jackson attended centre bounces with Brayshaw and Sarong to be a bigger body
Mm.
through there, and it worked quite well. So I don't think it's anything to worry about. I think it just I think it just shores up a position and sort of gives the Dockers something else to worry about going forward.
Do you feel like Jackson's kind of age kind of allows you to mold him into a little bit more than, Grundy and Gorn are, almost 30 or just over 30 when this kind of happened?
Yeah, I think losing Luke Jackson did a lot to Melbourne's structure
Mm.
they didn't realize at first. But now they've gone and got Tom Fullerton, Shane McAdam, and all that. So they've kind of replaced that now. But yeah, I think the Dockers are now reaping the benefits of having someone that young that they're able to mold into a certain type of player that is going to be a real big weapon for us.
Well, you heard it here, guys. That's our wrap up of the Shawn Darcy contract. Let us know in the comments what you think. Tell Damo, hey, mate, we need to be worried, or Damo, I agree. Fantastic analysis there. You know, shoring up the flag for all those Freo fans. Damo, where can they find you?
At Damo SC on Twitter or X or whatever it's called this week, and
Mhm.
Damo Supercoach on YouTube.
Yeah. Have you got some stuff coming out over the season, over the preseason fans need to be looking out for?
I also host a podcast with Clarky.
Mhm.
We were both at Jock Reynolds, called the Footy Mailbag, and we will be doing some team previews when the Supercoach AFL team picker releases soon.
Hopefully. Remember, guys, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so you don't have to.